What's up, you guys? You're watching Sergio's Secret. It's literally not even cold enough season to be wearing this little gay fantasy vest and beanie. And this beanie looks like someone's about to shoot a target in my forehead, or right here on the chest. It is fine, guys. But I do want to live the fall fantasy. I want to live the winter fantasy. So let me live it in peace. I will leave all this down below if you're interested, plus whatever I talk about, guys. But let me live my fall gay fantasy, okay? Or winter fantasy. I want to live it. And today I kind of will be talking a little bit about handbags that I don't particularly like, or like anti-haul of handbags. I've done anti-hauls before on my channel, but it's mostly like luxury, like accessories and clothing and stuff. This one is particularly for handbags, and I'm gonna be giving you my opinions on why I'm not gonna be purchasing it. And I will say I have been wrong, and I do change my mind, and I'm allowed to change my mind. So one of my first anti-hauls are handbags I'm not gonna purchase. I think when the Chanel 19 came out, I said I hated it, but then I saw it in person, I touched it, and I liked it. Now I have one in my collection. I told myself that I didn't like the Prada Cello bag, and I don't own that handbag, but it is a handbag that I actually really appreciate, and it's grown on me. I will say, I will admit when I'm wrong, or I will say, like, you know what, something did change on me and I did like it. So today's opinion is not tomorrow's opinion. Fat Joe, I'm coming that from you. And I'm also kind of like low-key obsessed with Fat Joe. I think Fat Joe is so handsome. Side note. Okay, let's go back to talking what we came here to talk about. Handbags that I just don't particularly like, that are a little bit more on the newer release side. And so let's go ahead and get started. The first one, I literally had, guys, like 5 of you guys send me this on my DMs on Instagram telling me, oh my god, Sergio, oh my god, Sergio, I think this bag you definitely need in your collection. This is the Bottega Veneta. If I'm looking at the particular name, Mini Jodie Tubular Hobo Bag. Basically, it's like a Jodie, like the one that I have, the small one in black, but it's like kind of like in this little spaghetti, the little spaghetti gay moment. It costs $2,700. Okay, I do like the idea of the bag. I do think the bag is very pretty, but the way I am with things and the places where I like to go to take my places, people like to think I'm very bougie or very classy, or like that I go to 5-star restaurants and hotels and stuff like that. Don't get me wrong, I do. Ratchet moment, like I like to go to different places, and I already know that this bag, if I do buy it and I do use it kind of like as a clubbing bag, and I am 21, so I'm allowed to go to the club, I have a feeling like this is, or like even like a day-to-day life, like I run around, like do errands, I do things all the time, dry cleaners, repair, do this, do that, you know, whatever I have to do. I have a feeling this bag is gonna get tugged on something and the leather is gonna rip on it. It looks a little bit fragile. I'm very afraid to even to use this bag even for a day. I just feel like it's a little bit too fragile for me. The weaving is fine because the weaving doesn't really get attached with things, but I feel like with all those little spaghetti strap looking, I just have a feeling that it's just gonna get tugged at something. Or even if like I go to like a family party or a cookout, like I feel like the kids at those parties and cookout are gonna grab my bag, because usually when I go to cookouts, when I go to, you know, family gatherings or my friends' families gatherings, when I have my bag, I just kind of like leave it and I throw it. And you know, I trust people. Like I'll have all my cards, my ID, cash, whatever. I trust people with it, so I leave my bag wherever people are kind of leaving their handbags. And I just have a feeling a child's gonna grab it and they're gonna start yanking at it, and I'm gonna see it, probably gonna try to take it away, and they're probably gonna cry. I'm probably gonna look like a villain. So this bag is just a complete no for me. I just feel like it's just a recipe for disaster. Or, you know, if somebody tries like hollering at me and I say absolutely not, and then they try to like yank the bag, like the little spaghetti straps, and it rips. I just don't want that to happen. And I also feel like it's a little bit too fragile for me. So unfortunately, this Bottega Veneta gay spaghetti eating at Olive Garden fantasy is not gonna happen for me. So unfortunately, pobrecito yo, no. And this is a whole brand in general, and please do not get offended when I say this, and I'm not trying to like downplay this brand. So this brand I remember I did the truck at Nordstrom when this brand got introduced. It's called Rosantica handbags. I probably said it wrong. And those bags are about like $1,000, and honestly, guys, they kind of give me kind of like those novelty bags that you see at Sam Moon. And there's nothing wrong with Sam Moon. My mom loves shopping at Sam Moon, and in the past I have purchased from Sam Moon and a lot of my friends for special occasions. Even for me, like if I'm looking for something particular to wear to a certain event, I will go to Samoon, and you know Samoon's a massive store here in the DFW area. You'll find something like that there. And so for me, if you know, even me, that somebody that has so many handbags in my collection, I personally could not see myself spending over $1,000 on a bag from this brand. It just looks a little too fragile. I wouldn't wear it too much. I have gotten asked my opinions and my thoughts on it. I don't think they look a little cheap to me, if I'm being honest. I know that's like such a strong and vulgar word to use, but I don't think that they're worth the money, and I particularly don't necessarily care for them. And I think there's other handbag brands, or if you kind of want that look that looks a little bit more elevated, that looks a little bit more dressed up, that's around that price point, or even like a lot less than that price point, you probably can get one that looks a little bit better, probably for around $300. These bags never sold, like literally none of my coworkers that ever sold any of these bags. Probably the same bags from the truck are probably the same bags there, but it's also Dallas. Dallas is not that very, like, this is not very much that market for that brand. Usually people, when they want evening clutches, they'll either go more for like a Jimmy Choo clutch, or they'll go for, you know, probably like a Louis Vuitton or Chanel a little bit more. But I have been getting asked about this brand. I particularly do not care for it, so I'm gonna be honest, it's not a brand that I'm gonna be checking out anytime soon. And it does give me the Samoon fantasy vibe, but I'd rather go to Samoon and get that fantasy vibe for a fraction of the cost. So that's my opinions, that's my thought on it, and I probably won't see myself checking out for this brand in the near time future. This handbag is from Burberry. I know I've kind of put Burberry into shame as far as their handbags, but I don't know if this video would be out by now, but I'm doing my top 10 favorite handbags for fall, and actually the Burberry Olympia bag is actually on that list. I actually saw it in person, I actually really liked it, and like I said, I change my mind all the time. So if I do like something, may love it one day, may hate it, may love it. And how I feel today is not how I feel tomorrow, and how I feel tomorrow is not how I feel a week from now. So Burberry Lola small TB quilted leather chain bucket bag, 1950. First of all, I will say the recent prices of Burberry handbags are a little bit expensive. Even for me, somebody that can justify a lot of price points even for full price, I feel like Burberry handbags are a little too expensive for what they are, especially because of how current they are and how like quickly they revamp the entire brand. I feel like it's worth it in their clothing and their accessories, in their shoes, but I feel like their handbag a little too expensive. But I feel like this handbag is like such a weird and awkward shape. When I first saw it, I was like, oh, that must be probably $1,550, maybe $1,450. It looks like kind of like one of those like handbags that are gonna be under $1,500. But when I saw that it was $1,950, I said absolutely no, I would never buy this bag for $1,950. And don't get me wrong, I do like the TB bags a lot. They're starting to really grow on me, but like I said, some of the shapes and some of them how they kind of are not my favorite. So I will say this Burberry one, unfortunately, I just don't like the shape of it. It's kind of like an in-between of a small bag and kind of like a medium bag. It's kind of like the awkward size where like have, let's say, a flat bag in whatever brand. It's kind of like you much rather reach for that one, or you much rather reach for, you know, a little bit more of a smaller bag. It's kind of like that weird in-between size. So I feel like you either kind of want the bigger one or you kind of want the smaller one. It's kind of like a weird shape. And I did see this on the Burberry window the other day. So I will say not particularly my favorite, and I won't be checking out for this bag anytime soon. This bag is going to be the Off-White Burrow 15 zip pouch top handle in whatever variation. There's like kind of like a little bit of a collection of this, and it starts around $12.10. And for me, this literally gives me the cheese fantasy. Like I feel like I'm a little rat. Like I literally feel like I'm a little rat, guys. Sorry, I'm like burning up a little bit. See, I'm trying to live the fall fantasy, pero ooh, girl, tengo calor, pero anything to look cute, okay? Like it literally gives me like school lunch vibes. Like it looks like when I was in school and they would serve you like milk, and milk is bad for you. Well, I don't drink milk. They kind of put like your milk, your burger, and that's what like the cheese looks like. Or when I would read Diary of a Wimpy Kid when I was in elementary or junior high or whatever, kind of reminds me of those cheeses that were like in that book. Me, the cheese fantasy, I love to eat cheese. That's the only dairy product I like to consume. Fun fact about me, I do not drink milk. I haven't, unless if it's like in milk or like in a product, but I do not consume milk like directly. And it's probably been about maybe like 4 years since I've actually drank milk like out the bottle, and it's probably been like 5 or 6 years since I've eaten yogurt that's made out of dairy. I don't particularly like the feeling of yogurt. I find that it's kind of disgusting. Fantasy vibe, I do not want to feel like a cheese, because then I'm gonna smell like a cheese. And actually, it'd be really cute if you dress like a little rat or mice as fur Halloween and you kind of like have this bag, it would be kind of cute. I'm also like planning to do like Halloween. I've already bought like some costume. A Colonel Sanders costume from KFC girl. Into this picture right here. This is the exclusive tea that I'm giving you to my subscriber. I'm gonna be Colonel's and buy a bucket of Kentucky Fried Chicken, and I'm gonna have to carry that bucket for the entire Halloween party. I may put candy in it or like nuts in it or like something else, but I have to buy a bucket. I need to go to KFC and ask them for one, and I can put like, here you go, candy, candy, candy. I'm gonna buy myself a little cane. Call me Colonel Sanders for Halloween, because I have actually been a little bit more social this year. I think I have like 3 or 4 Halloween parties to go to this year, so I'm very excited. But Colonel Sanders X Sergio secret is happening, so prepare to see that on my Instagram stories. But off-white bag, absolutely not here for it at all. The next handbag is going to be, this has been in my collection on my like handbags that I don't care for, and I'm gonna reiterate this because they've made them in like wool versions. I believe now there's leather versions, there's a belt bag version, all Chloe Woody totes. I am just not a big fan of Woody totes. First of all, I think that the Woody tote, if you do like it, regardless if you get it leather or wool or whatever kind of fall fabrics they have, it definitely gives me more of a summertime vibe bag. Even like my Saint Laurent like canvas tote, as much as I love them, they unfortunately do give me that fall vibe. Will I still probably carry it if I have to use it for, you know, to put stuff in it? Probably yes, but it won't be my first choice. But I just particularly don't like the Woody totes. I always, like I said, this is another one that I always get DM'd on Instagram, my thoughts and opinions on. I just don't like it. When I used to work at Victoria's Secret, it literally gives me like, girl, if you spend $5 more, if you get one of those little sprays over there, girl, I'll give you this tote because you're at $70. Well, you're like, I don't know, you're probably at 77, but you need $5 more and it's before tax, girl. So get yourself a little spray, girl, and I'll give you your little tote for free, your little shop gift with purchase little Victoria's Secret tote. Like, that's what it gives me the vibes of. This was the bag that it would sell whenever I worked in Nordstrom. All Woody totes would sell. I know it's a popular handbag and people do really like it. I just don't like the whole Chloe on it. It's a little bit too much. If it maybe had a little bit less Chloe written all over it, I would probably like it a little bit more, which is weird because the Chloe like sandal that has all the Chloes, I actually do quite like. Ooh girl, during sale season I tried to buy a size I think 41 in them. My fat foot could never fit into those. Kind of want to live the Woody fantasy, but Chloe said, well, you talk bad about the Woody bag, so I'll make sure your fat foot doesn't fit into the shoe. Next one is going to be from Balenciaga, and it gives me the Bow Colgate studded textured leather shoulder bag, 1850. But now that I'm seeing here, they come like different prices. There's some that are like $590, some that are $2,090, so they're in different price points. But for me, I just feel like this is going to be a bag that we're gonna look back in 10 years from now, and it's gonna be kind of like a Chloe Paddington. It's going to be like one of those bags that is gonna be like, why did I buy that? I have tried it on and I have seen it in store inside Neiman Marcus. I could see why people would like this bag, especially because it has no branding on it. I'm a big handbag lover that doesn't really have like a lot of brands. That's a little bit more on the discreet side, and so I'm here for it. But it's just like, it's one of those bags that I know if I buy, I'm gonna punch myself in the face 3 years from now and I'm gonna be like, why did I even wear this? For me, I'm just kind of getting influenced because I see a lot of other people have this bag, so that goes to show that I'm buying it. I would buy it for the wrong reasons. Even if I were to source this bag even for like 50% off at the end of sale season in like a color, I probably wouldn't purchase it. I think the Balenciaga Hourglass, I think a Vintage City bag, I think there's other Balenciaga bags that I would purchase more before this one. I think it's a nice bag. I can definitely see the appeal to it, especially if you don't like branding on it or if you have kind of like that rock and roll chic bag. I can definitely see a lot of people rocking this bag, and this one, there's certain bags where I see I'm like, I don't really like no matter who wears it. But this bag, I could admit and I could say it, I've seen other people carry this bag in person and it looks pretty darn cute. Some people can really pull this bag off. Unfortunately for me, it's just not my style and my aesthetic, and there's other Balenciaga bags that I would much prefer to purchase than this one right here. So I know I've been getting asked about this one, and then I've been getting asked about the Fendi First. I love the Fendi First. That's going to be on another video, but this Balenciaga bag is not it. And if you guys know anything about me, I'm particularly not the most biggest Balenciaga fan out there. I like Balenciaga, but I'm not their #1 fan. The next one is going to be from Miss Gay Versace. You guys know I love a Gay Versace fantasy moment. This one is the Versace La Greca collection, and it's the one that kind of gives me kind of like Goyard vibes. It's kind of like a coated canvas material. I don't really care for this collection, and I'm usually here for almost every single Versace collection. I've been watching like Versace runway shows, like vintage, like I've been watching. I like the Fendi and the Versace collab. I like this last season runway for Versace. I'm a big Versace person. Like, I can appreciate Versace a lot, but this collection, I'm sorry, is not it. I remember when it first came out, not even Dua Lipa or Lupa, whatever her name is, even she couldn't save this collection, girl. It literally looks like this print that we did at Victoria's Secret like 2 years ago. I will try to find, if I can find a picture of it. It literally reminds me of it. Definitely gives me kind of Goyard vibes. It's just not my cup of tea. I don't see how this gives me Versace vibes. It gives me kind of like inspiration from another brand or another designer. It doesn't give me a lot of originality, and I'm very surprised that Versace or Donatella Versace went through with this collection. Even when this collection first came out, a lot of people had the same opinions that I had. I just don't really like the little stripy monogram on it. I think Versace, if they wanted to do kind of canvas, they could have done it a lot better, if you would ask me. Anything from this collection, I'm not a big fan of at all. If I'm gonna buy a Versace handbag, it's going to be anything but from that collection. It just kind of gives me like Goyard vibes, and I don't see the originality in it, you know what I mean? I know every brand is trying to come out with like kind of like their logo-y type items, because those are logo mania. It's still big, no matter how much people are going to try to knock it down. That's going in and out of style. As much as I try to say like to logos, I do have my logo pieces. I don't have a lot of it, but I do have some, and I just feel for me it just kind of like, you know, it kind of comes and goes. But I will say, big fan of this one, and the day that I saw it go down the runway, I still feel the same as of today, as of you can go into the Versace boutique and purchase one of these items. The last item that I'm gonna not recommend is going to be the Gucci Diana collection, and this one starts in at $26.50. What really killed this bag is the little leather tabs on it. That killed the bag for me. I don't know what in the Gucci Balenciaga they tried to do in this bag, but I just was not a big fan of it. I do not like it at all. It was a little bit different than like the Gigi, that's kind of like the Marmont. I think the bag is beautiful, but I think for $26.50, I think there's other bags from Gucci that I would prefer to purchase. I'd rather purchase a horsebit bag, a Gucci bag. There's other bags in the Gucci lineup that I would much prefer to purchase than the Gucci Diana. I do like the bamboo. I do think it's a pretty bag, but I definitely don't see it sticking around very much longer. I definitely do see myself like in a year times now, this is going to be a bag that you will probably end up seeing at the Gucci outlet, if you ask me. I've only seen this bag carried one time. Even then, I didn't like the bag being carried with those little kind of colored tabs on it. I just think it kind of really killed the bag for me. I could see if they did like a more of a neutral color with it, but I just don't like those little leather little bitsies or whatever material it is. I'm not a big fan of it, and unfortunately, Miss Gucci thing, you disappointed me. That leather thing really killed it for me. But yeah, guys, these are gonna be my anti-haul on the handbags that are kind of like newer, that I'm just not a big fan of, that I will not be checking out for. I would love to see what handbags you're not going to be checking out for either. They could be designer or contemporary, but I will say for sure these bags you will not probably see me carry with the next couple of seasons. A, just because I have so many bags in my collection, and B, there's other bags that I would much prioritize. But like I said, today's opinion is not tomorrow's opinion, so a girl can change his mind. But I want to say thank you so much for watching this gay homosexual video. I love each and every single one of you, and I'm gonna put my beanie back up for the thumbnail because I take my thumbnails at the end of the video if you guys didn't know. And I'll see you guys on the next video, guys. Bye, guys. Love you each so much, and I'll leave all the links for everything down below in case you do want to check out more information about any of these bags. Bye, guys, and take care.